He's got his family and kids with him. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the Edwards family to you. Everybody knows Elizabeth, his wife. Jack and Emma Claire and John himself.
I had this extraordinary experience just a couple of weeks ago. I went back to the house that my parents brought me home to, 54 years ago when I was born. And it was a little house, two-room house in a mill village in South Carolina. And my parents were there with me. And my parents are here with me tonight, Bobby and Wallace Edwards, so I'm proud to have you with me. And we went to that house, and they will remember, as I do, how it was to grow up in that neighborhood, in that mill village. My grandparents, who lived right up the block and a half away. My grandmother, who I love dearly, and who helped raise me. Hard-working woman, good woman. She would take care of us, me and my cousins. She'd feed us, cook for us, and then she'd leave to go make her way to the mill to work her shift. We have trade laws like NAFTA and CAFTA that have cost Americans millions of jobs. Why? All for the glorification of corporate profit. That's why they allowed companies to leave here, take jobs overseas, and hire people to do work for 10 cents on the dollar. We have tax laws that continue to give tax breaks to American companies that are taking jobs overseas. This is insanity, and it must stop. And it's not just what's happening in America. Look at what's happening in Iraq. We have men and women working there, putting their lives on the line, serving this country patriotically at the same time that Blackwater has got a bunch of paid mercenaries roaming around, making 10 times what our men and women in uniform are making. Halliburton getting billion-dollar no-bid contracts in Iraq. When will it stop? When will it stop? Yes, when I'm president, and yes, when we stop it. When we stand up and say enough is enough. Now, we need to tell another truth, which is we have an enormous struggle in front of us. We have a fight in front of us. I'm proud of the fact that I've never taken a dime from a Washington lobbyist or a special interest. But there is a reason for that. Because you cannot take these people's money, sit at a table and make a deal with them. And I'll tell you something else. I don't believe you can sit at a table and negotiate with drug companies, insurance companies, oil companies, and hope that they will voluntarily give their power away. We will get their power out of their hands when we take their power away from them. That's what we're going to do. And anybody who says to me, you should negotiate as president, as our president, with these people, I want to tell them a story. The story of a little 17-year-old girl who a few weeks ago desperately needed a liver transplant. She had health care coverage with one of the biggest insurance companies in America. but they refused to pay for her liver transplant operation. So her nurses pleaded, her doctors pleaded. Finally, and most importantly, the American people got behind her. And they walked, and they marched, and they picketed in front of this insurance company. And finally, the insurance company gave in, notified the family they would pay for the liver transplant operation. The problem is, a couple hours later, she died because they waited too long. Now, for those who say to me that as your president, they want me to sit at a table with those people and negotiate?
No!
Never! It will never